The birds are chirping, the flowers are blooming, spring is in the air, and I've got the perfect, easiest recipe for scones you could ever imagine. Perfect for this season, perfect for Easter brunch. Let me show you how I make these cherry almond scones with cherry compound butter. As usual, all the ingredients are going to be listed in the description box below. We're going to start by sifting together all of our dry ingredients with our reconstituted cherries. I reconstituted the dry cherries in almond liqueur, but if that's not your thing, you can simply reconstitute them in some water. The secret to this recipe is to make sure that everything is cold. So you want your bowl to be cold. If you want, you can put your flour in the fridge for a couple of minutes before you actually start working on the recipe. But at bare minimum, please put the butter in the freezer for at least 15 minutes. This way, when you start grating it into your flour, it'll be super hard and super easy to get it grated in there. You've probably seen people cube the butter and work it into the flour, but to me, this method is so much easier. You're gonna take your pastry cutter and cut the butter into the flour until it comes to about like a wet sand consistency. I do wanna add, you can also do this in a food processor. It's a lot easier, but I like doing it this way. It makes me feel like a real baker. Toss the cherries around in the flour to make sure they're coated. This way they don't all stick to one spot when you're baking the scone. Be sure to crack your egg in a separate bowl. This way you don't get any shells in the whole mix. That would just be tragic. You're gonna wanna add your vanilla extract into the egg. You can even add the egg and the vanilla into the heavy cream and whisk that together and then add that into the dry mix. Cherry almond is my favorite combo for scones, but you can also do lemon and blueberry. That's another favorite in my household. Maple and cinnamon are pretty popular too. But the combinations of flavors you can make with scones are just absolutely endless. And they're all so delicious. That's the good thing about scones. It's like you can never really have a bad scone. If you like this recipe and you want to see me make any other type of flavor scones, just let me know in the comments below. I'd be more than happy to. For some reason, when I make scones, it just takes me to a happy place, even though I'm not someone who really enjoys baking. But when it comes to scones, I actually really like it. So now we're gonna combine the scone dough together using the tip of our fingers. That's the coolest part of our hands. You don't wanna use your palms because you don't wanna melt that butter. That butter in the oven, what it does is it steams, and that's what creates the delicious texture of the scone. So we wanna keep that intact. So just use your fingertips, please, just until the dough comes together. You don't have to knead it like a piece of bread. You don't have to do that. It's gonna feel really tacky. Please don't be tempted to add more flour because it's just gonna be really dry and that's not gonna work in your favor. Pat it into a disc and then from there it's easy peasy. You just cut it into about 6 to 8 depending on how thick or thin you like your scones. I usually get about 6 of them. What I love about this recipe is that it comes together in a jiffy. Perfect for Easter brunch. If you're gonna have people over, you can just whip these up. Serve them nice and fresh with some tea or coffee. I know the popular way to eat it is with clotted cream, but I really do enjoy a compound butter with this. There's so many different variations you can make of compound butter. If you're not into the cherry idea, you can also make the compound butter with honey. That's actually really delicious too. These are actually British style scones, and the American scones are more like the kind of biscuits you would get at Red Lobster's. Believe it or not, that's actually considered a scone too. Isn't that crazy? One time I did make a cheesy garlic scone. There was lots of garlic, lots of butter, lots of cheddar, lots of rosemary and thyme. Now it's time to throw these babies in the oven. You're gonna wanna give them about 13 minutes or so. Just keep checking up on them. They're gonna start getting light golden brown on the top. Just don't let them go too far. I just want you to keep in mind that they do continue to brown a little bit when they come out of the oven. While those are in the oven, let's move on to our compound butter really quickly. It's just 1 stick of softened butter with any kind of jam or preserves. I really love this brand, it's so delicious. The cherries are whole, which add a whole nother textural component to the compound butter. You're gonna just wanna mix it until well combined. You can certainly use an electric mixer for this. Just make sure you do it on a low speed. You don't want to go messing with the butter, making it split. Then you'll have curds and wheys and whatnot. Not what you're looking for when you're trying to make this. After that's well combined, we're going to roll it into a log using saran wrap and stick it in the fridge so it can get nice and firm. This will be easy to cut into medallions, or you can do what I do. I'm going to actually form it into a little heart shape. Looks like the star of the show is ready. Look how golden brown that is. It's so good. But what's gonna kick it up a notch and take it to a whole nother level is this almond drizzle we're gonna be putting on top with our almond extract, powdered sugar, and a little bit of heavy cream. You're gonna wanna do this little by little. First, you're gonna wanna incorporate the almond extract and a little bit of heavy cream, a little bit at a time, until you get the consistency you're looking for. You're gonna wanna be able to drizzle it and make ribbons. Once you can make those ribbons, you know you're good to go. But remember, you're only gonna wanna add this onto the scones once they've completely cooled down, or else it's just gonna seep back into the scone and disappear. There's a lot of ways you can go about drizzling your scone. You can use a fork to drizzle it over. You can even take the scone and dip it into the icing. It all depends on what kind of look you're going for. Here I was just going for something abstract. Clearly, I was just going crazy with it. I like to top it off with a little bit of almond. I'm a firm believer that you should be able to see a little bit of everything that's inside the food. Plus, I really love the juxtaposition of the crunch with the softness of the scone. And there you have it, just like that. I told you it was gonna be easy. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, make sure to subscribe to my channel. I post content every week. I would love to have you around more often. I have so many easy recipes I'm just dying to share with everyone. So if you're out there looking for easy recipes, I'm here ready to give them to you. Make sure you share this video if there's someone you think would enjoy this. And give it a thumbs up if you liked it yourself. Until next time, bye!